From the Detroit Free Press, in the heart of the Motor City, it's Thursday, August 20th. Here are today's top stories.
Brought to you by JB's Smokehouse, located inside Bush's Fresh Food Market of Canton. JB's offers a range of authentic barbecue favorites, and with more than 30 Michigan craft beers on tap, trivia, and live music every Friday night, JB's is sure to become your new favorite barbecue spot.
This is J.C. Reindl for the Detroit Free Press. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan will give 30% refunds in the month of November for those with dental and individual health insurance plans. This is because fewer people saw doctors and dentists during the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic. The refunds total $21 million and will go to over 180,000 policyholders. Other insurance companies are doing similar rebates, but Blue Cross is still planning to raise premiums by 1 to 2.5% next year for the same individual insurance plans. That's because it expects people to return to their dentists and doctors' offices. The Blues is the biggest health insurer in Michigan, with well over 50% of the market.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Eric D. Lawrence. Last week, I got a chance to ride in the 2021 Ford Bronco. It was part of a so-called Bronco Day event at an off-road vehicle course near Holly, Michigan. Ford is counting on solid sales of the upcoming off-road SUV and used the event to tout the history of the Bronco and what it can do. Ford did not let me or the other journalists at the event drive, so our impressions were all from the passenger seat. But it was quite a ride nonetheless. The Bronco tore up and down hills, some of them seemingly straight up and down. We went through standing water, making a big splash. Clouds of dust were everywhere. I also got to see a number of Bronco features in action, including trail control.
So these shocks that come with this sensor package are cool because they have position sensitivity damping.
Okay.
So at the end of the stroke, at all four corners, there's a cup. There's a cup and a plunger. So the plunger enters the cup and it creates a new path for the oil to flow through.
Okay.
And you can tune the force or really the size of that orifice to control the hydraulic force that those make. So when you do something like that, kind of big bump, you go further into travel or further out of travel, the damping force rises way up to kind of catch the car and make it so it doesn't feel like you're slamming down on, hard plastic or hard rubber or anything like that. It just really softens the impacts.
The driver set it with a low speed at the top of one super steep hill, and then all he had to do was focus on steering as the SUV took care of the rest. The subcompact Bronco Sport is to be available later this year. 2- and 4-door Bronco models are to be available in 2021.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Darcy Moran. A trip to the mighty Mackinac Bridge might have turned out to be a mighty big mistake for one pilot. Video shows that on Sunday, June 28th, a small airplane flew above the rippling blue waters of the Straits of Mackinac right towards the mighty Mac, and then it swooped down. Officials say it went under the bridge, which is not allowed and dangerous. In fact, Michigan State Police Detective Sergeant Gary Demmer said in a release, quote, "This was extremely reckless behavior on the part of the pilot, and it imperiled the safety of everyone on the bridge that day," unquote. The bridge was full of cars on their way toward the 4th of July weekend, officials said. They are hoping someone will come forward with better photos, videos, or information to track that pilot down. Most famously, Air Force Captain John S. Lapo swooped below the mighty Mac in 1959 in a B-47 bomber. He later pleaded guilty at his court-martial. Check out freep.com for more.
I'm Dave Boucher with the Detroit Free Press. Michigan schools struggling to teach students and keep them safe during the coronavirus pandemic are now eligible for $65 million in federal funds. Governor Gretchen Whitmer announced the new aid on Wednesday, noting it is available for educators and children who need it the most.
Schools have an important role to play in helping our families. They can use their buildings to provide spaces where children can learn in small groups. They can partner with community-based organizations to ensure that working families have options. And the funds that I'm announcing today can be used to fund these types of efforts and ensure every child in our state is safe and healthy during the school year.
In order to qualify for funds, more than half of all students in a district must be economically disadvantaged. The money can be spent on educational and safety items, including computers or other devices that help simplify remote learning, and protective equipment for teachers and staff. The announcement comes days after state lawmakers approved a plan aimed at providing financial and educational clarity for schools. The bipartisan deal establishes how districts will be funded and requires school administrators to work with local health officials on plans to safely educate students. Some lawmakers and educators oppose the deal, arguing it creates new burdens for students and teachers. Whitmer is expected to sign the measures into law in the coming days.
This is Evan Petzel of the Free Press Sports Department. The Detroit Tigers have waited 2 years for this day. But right-hander Casey Mize, the number 1 overall pick from the 2018 draft, has waited his lifetime. Both got what they wanted Wednesday against the Chicago White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field, as Mize made his highly anticipated debut. The organization expects him to become the cornerstone of the franchise for years to come, and he showed he has a shot at that status. Mize gave up 3 runs on 7 hits in 4 1/3 innings in his first MLB appearance, striking out 7 hitters without a walk. He became the first Tiger in history with at least 7 strikeouts and no walks in his major league debut. He put the Tigers in a position to get their 10th win of the season and snap a 7-game losing streak in a matchup against White Sox righty Dane Dunning, a first-round pick from 2018 who also made his big league debut. However, reliever Gregory Soto gave up 2 home runs in the 8th inning, and the Tigers fell 5-3.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you're a fan and want to support our quality local journalism, subscribe. Go to freep.com/special offer.